Alrighty. Welcome to Bold Banter. I'm your host, Curtis Gaffram, and we have Kendrick here.
What's up, everybody? It's a beautiful day in San Diego. Bolt up.
Bolt up. All right. So we're talking about Chargers today. We have a lot to talk about. Let's start with basically the stadium circus, as I call it. Just everything that's been going on in LA and San Diego. We know that basically all the possible sites for a new stadium have presented to the NFL. And what's your take on that, Kendrick?
Well, right now, from what it's evolved from, it's basically come from the Rams going to Inglewood and the Chargers going to Carson. And what we're seeing right now when the NFL owners met this week is that it sounds like the Rams are a lock. The Raiders are either going to share Inglewood with the Rams or go to San Antonio, and the Chargers are going to stay. And that's what we're hearing right now. That's the latest what's going on. It doesn't sound like they want to, but like I've heard a lot of people say, like my dad's been really on this case, is that Spanos has an ownership stake in that Carson site, and so he's been wanting to build a shopping center there for a long time.
Oh. Are you back? Something happened there. All right, I think we lost Kendrick for a bit. He'll be coming back. But he was just talking about the stadiums and how I think he was talking about Spanos had a ownership of that stadium site.
Hey, I think I'm back.
There we go. He's back.
Cool. Technical difficulties. It happens.
No worries.
Yeah, so basically what I was saying was the major conspiracy theory here is that Spanos is going to build a shopping center on that Carson site. And this has all been a way to get up the hype from Carson to approve that shopping center when they're going to feel like the victim because they didn't get two football teams.
Yep. Or maybe it's a conspiracy of Spanos wanting to build a shopping center and then actually getting a deal done in San Diego.
No, yeah, it's both of them, definitely. It was definitely, I can see it as a ploy from the city getting a really good deal from them. But the thing I don't understand is if that was the plan all along, then why has Mark Fabiani and his people been so uptight about that? You know what I mean? Their resistance to it and they're 100% we don't want to stay in this city. And the way they talk on the radio, they got kicked off the Scott and BR show a month ago. They got kicked off the Cannons on 1360. You went to two major radio shows in this city and you got kicked off both. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, Fabiani's
You're not saying what the fans want to hear at all from your side. And when we hear that, when they say this is the Chargers doing it, it's all Fabiani and his people. We don't hear anything from the ownership. We don't hear anything from the younger Spanoses.
They all like to hide, though, now. I mean, they were not even on the field at the last preseason game. They know.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really talking about it as games are going on. It's just kind of funny because that's where everyone's going to be asking them all about it.
Yep, all the time. All right, so in that discussion, we had the Rams practicing in LA this week. I think personally that was a great positive movement for the Rams continuing to their stay in LA and Inglewood and their move there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a way to show the NFL what they can get by getting the draw of fans out there, the people that want to stay in there. And then I think it's a showing by the Rams that we want this. We're gonna be big time for the NFL if we get out here. And then I think they're also trying to get one over on the Chargers and the Raiders because they've already taken the initiative to get out there to LA and show that they want to be there. So I think that's why they're getting the big owner stake there, is because from what we're hearing from business owners and from what they want, they would rather have a stadium in Inglewood than in Carson.
Yep. And we've
I
seen
mean,
that
like
all
you think about the branding too. Like the Lakers used to be in Inglewood, and they used to say it's all good in Inglewood. Like that's going to be the big branding we're going to be hearing from the Rams. I know it. I know they're going to be bringing that back.
And me, I personally think as LA, I know they kind of talked about two teams, but I would want one team if I lived in LA. I don't want two. I want one. Rams are there. They've made a good presence there, and from what I saw and heard, everyone came out and really supported the Rams during their practice there. So that's great for them and great for moving there.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have Raiders and Rams, but I think it'd be even cooler for the Rams to move to San Antonio and then go to the NFC. And then for the AFC West to get someone out of the NFC. Like they've talked about how for the Rams to move to a different city, they'd probably switch divisions. So they'd probably be switching with the Rams just straight up. The Rams would come to the AFC West. The Raiders would go to the NFC West. And so whether the Raiders were in LA or San Antonio, they'd be in the NFC, which helps with the Chargers a lot because the Rams aren't really on a rise. And honestly, I think the Raiders are on more of a rise than the Rams. So that could help them out from a division standpoint.
Yeah. And like basically once the Rams move out to LA, they're going to stay in the NFC West, or in a West division. Has there been talks about San Antonio for the Raiders? I mean, I feel like there hasn't been many efforts to keep the Raiders in Oakland from what I've heard.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any efforts, any talks to keep them in Oakland. I heard about San Antonio before the LA talks started getting really big, that they were talking about. They were talking about it right around when the Spurs had won the championship. That they were going to have this whole black and silver thing going on in San Antonio. So what they have over there is the Alamo Dome, which I think San Antonio State plays in. And so the Raiders would play in there while they were building the stadium.
Got you. And just from a demographic standpoint, Texas is a huge state on football. And they have two teams right now and a third one. I think they could definitely handle a third team being there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They have 3 basketball teams out there. So I think for them to get a third football team too, that'd be crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy.
All right, well, let's move on from this stadium stuff unless you have anything else to add to that topic. I'm done with my comments on that.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I think being up to date right now on what the owners are saying and what we're hearing from that is as far close as we're going to get to what's going on right now with that situation. I'm hoping we don't hear any more about it, but from the September meetings we're going to be hearing about this into the season. And while that'll be a distraction for games, we need to get it done with. And I'd like to see it done by November. I'd like to see the city voting on it and approving that stadium deal, and let's get it done.
Yeah, we need to get that vote in. We just need to lock it down. And it's looking like the Chargers may stay, but, knock on wood, you don't know until the deal is done. And the Rams are looking pretty certain to be in LA. So that's all we kind of have a feel for. And then moving on to Philip Rivers getting signed for four-year deal, $84 million, $65 million guaranteed money. A lot of people freaked out about that. And me personally, I think the guy deserves it. I think he's worked really hard. I don't think it shows on success in the playoffs or anything like that, but as a team that's surrounded by one player, and if you look at the stats, man, you can see how I think he is well deserving of this pay and kind of a little extra push maybe to get something done here in the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah. I think he absolutely deserves it. He has the most guaranteed money out of any quarterback in the NFL right now. And when you look at the guys that are down there like Colin Kaepernick, Cam Newton, none of them are on the caliber of what Philip Rivers has accomplished. We're literally the only thing that's keeping Philip Rivers out of the Hall of Fame is a Super Bowl win. And, I think we're going to get close to it. I think him getting 4 years is a big push for us to get a 4-year deal moving. And, I think what we're going to be seeing is that, like, there's this huge stat going out there right now that you heard when he signed that deal. Philip Rivers has the 3rd most wins in the NFL. Who are the guys in front of him? Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Now, from that stat alone, it doesn't mean Philip Rivers is the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL, because I think you got Aaron Rodgers in front of him. I think you got Andrew Luck in front of them. I think Ben Roethlisberger is about where Philip Rivers is at. So I would say Rivers is about a 6, 7, 8 QB in this league. A lot of people like to think Russell Wilson's higher than him, but Russell Wilson's hiding behind the Legion of Boom. He's not out there making plays. Phillip Rivers has put this team on his back. Since we lost that big defense in 2007, that team that was the Rough Riders of Sean Merriman, Antonio Cromartie, we had Jamal Williams in the middle, we had that big O-line with Luis Vasquez.
Mm-hmm.
We had that big blow-up where everyone kind of gave up on Norv Turner. And when A.J. Smith blew that team up, blew them out of the water, Phillip Rivers put on the backpack, and he strapped up, and he got them going.
Yeah.
So I think this is all about goodwill, too, because Mike McCoy loves this kid. Mike McCoy loves him. And he loves what they're doing. Frank Reich loves him too as an OC. And they got a guy, John Pagano there, defensive coordinator. He's strapping up on the defense. I think they're building up a good team, and this is a first faith of goodwill. But also, it's done with. And now we can start talking about Eric Weddle's deal, which for now he's saying, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to be in San Diego. But as the season goes on and as he sees the success and the leadership role he's taken with these young guys, he might be ready to strap up and get a new deal going.
Yep, completely agree with pretty much everything you just said. Phillip, he's done so much for the little that he's had in times around Norv's end and the beginning of a new era with McCoy. But I feel like he's always found a way to keep the Chargers in there until the end. Even in those low years when we were here 9-7, 8-8, he found guys and got the job done. Didn't get too far in the playoffs, or sometimes didn't make it, but he did all he could, and he put it all out there. And he's gone through some ups and downs, but he's only improved since McCoy's showed up. And I think they needed to get Weddle a deal just like they did with Phil. I mean, Weddle is kind of like Phillip Rivers in that he's a guy that is just the leader of the defense. He's like the guy that everyone relies upon, and has been for a while. Time to where sign Weddle, you're making a big mistake.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He plays the high safety. He's that guy. He's that guy back there. He's making the calls. He's changing up the plays, and he wants to, strap on some of that leadership over to Donald Butler, Monte Teo out there in the middle. But he can't do it. So he's continuing to step up in that role. They talk about, too, how Jaleel dies like Eric Weddle's little brother, and he's going to be the guy next to him at the safety now. He loves that guy Robinson, that nickel corner we got. He loves instilling into that kid. And they talk about how, Brandon Flowers has really helped strap some of that role with the corners, and how Brandon Flowers, Jason Verrett had that rapport. That all stems from Eric Weddle's leadership and his example. And he makes them all want to be better.
He does. And he's a great guy to really just kind of train and, just really shape these other guys coming in. Even Jason Verrett. And I heard an interview with Weddle where they were talking about how Verrett was going to be the next best or the best corner in the NFL. And he said, don't say that, or you can't. It's not fair to say that. He hasn't. You can't put that pressure on him. He has had little time to really prove that yet. Not in a negative way, but in the way of respecting him as a player and letting him show you what he has.
He's keeping the young guy to earth.
Yep.
He wants him to have those aspirations. Well, that's not what you are right now. You need to keep grinding and working towards that. Which honestly, I think we won't see that out of Verrett for another 2 years. But by 2 years, and from what he's learned from these two guys, he's going to be big time. He can be. He has that ability.
And Flowers, Flowers and Verrett are not too. It's not bad to have those two guys in your lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the way their core is right now, it's very similar to when the first time Darrelle Revis and Cromartie were together in New York after he left San Diego. You got that big Rough Rider who's the best corner in the NFL, and you got this young guy who's up and coming. I think Flowers is a top 5 corner in this league, and I think Verrett's a top 15 corner in this league, and Verrett's going to continue to climb up with Flowers.
He is. I'm really excited to see what they can do this year. Last year they were a little quiet, and I feel a little unnoticed for all the hard work they put in and a couple injuries here and there.
If they can stay healthy, they're a top 3 cornerback duo in this league.
Easily.
I think the only guys that are better is probably the Jets, and then I don't know who you would put number 2 after that. Maybe Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu, but there's not going to be anyone better than that, and they're absolutely the best corner in the AFC West, no problem. Who the Jets got now? Aqib Talib and second-year guy out of Colorado State, something like that. The Chiefs have nothing. The Raiders have nothing.
Yep. All right, so talking about injuries, there's a couple banged up guys playing with their Bolts now and practicing. I've heard, let's see, Melvin Gordon has been a little banged up. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, Troutman is not doing too well.
Yeah, Johnny Troutman's not doing very good. He's got a right arm injury, it sounds like. And he was messing with a leg injury too. He had a knee injury going on before that first preseason game, and then that arm injury happened during the Dallas game.
I think there was one more. Was it Williams or who was it? No, there was one more. I feel like it was a linebacker that was struggling.
It was a defensive end who's like a 6th round pick. He was next. He was the guy on the other side of Kyle Emanuel. I don't remember what his name was. He was the guy who he got that fumble recovery in like the third quarter, and then his helmet had popped off. I don't remember what his name is right now, but yeah, he had an injury too, and they were talking about it. He had suffered it on that fumble. But the major injury right there that you were talking about is the Melvin Gordon injury. You know, they're talking about how it's a minor ankle injury, that he might have suffered it on like his second or third carry, and that was kind of why they pulled him out for Woodhead. But yeah, that's going to be tough. I think we're going to see him in limited carries tomorrow. It's really going to tell how he's feeling on that ankle. But honestly, if he's having any kind of injury, I'd rather he just sits. You let Woodhead and Oliver get their carries because they're looking dynamite right now. Because honestly, what I think they're going to do with Gordon is they're going to use him very, very little in the first half of the season and then kind of gear him up in the second season. They're going to ease him in a lot. You know, when they had first drafted him, I had thought that he was going to be a 3-down back, that he was going to be a bruiser, and they're going to ease him in here a little bit because they don't really need him to be that right now. You know, Woodhead and Oliver have a place on third down. So,
yeah, I think Oliver. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like Woodhead is more of like the third down kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not gonna. We're not gonna have a pass blocking running back. We're gonna have Woodhead going after dump off passes.
Yep.
We're gonna run screens on third downs with him.
And then other than that,
what their plan is. We're gonna stretch the field.
Yep. And then other than that, Brandon Oliver is probably going to be the number one. I mean, it's kind of a weird situation, but it seems to be that way.
Nah, I think he's going to be Gordon's backup, but I think they're definitely going to have a committee. They're definitely going to have a committee here where Gordon maybe gets 10 carries a game, Oliver maybe gets 8, and then we see Woodhead out there on third down scenarios, depending on how the game's coming to him. Definitely in goal line scenarios. Definitely if we're passing in goal line, Woodhead's going to be out there instead of Gordon.
I mean, Gordon is known for just kind of burning down the field, from what I remember. So we haven't really seen much of him yet, and we really haven't seen much of the team we saw, the starter. We saw everyone, but it was a little bit of everyone.
Well, you know who they hid in there? Stevie Johnson. And Stevie Johnson's going to be big time. Let me tell you that right now. Stevie Johnson's going to be he's going to have the most yards on this team. He's going to have more than Keenan Allen. He'll have more targets by the end of this year, too.
Yeah,
especially with Gates being out. Rivers has built a huge rapport with Johnson right now. I've heard nothing but good things. If you're a fantasy football player, that's the guy to go pick up, Stevie Johnson. Don't pick up Ladarius Green. Don't pick up Keenan Allen. Get Stevie Johnson in the 13th round. Which
is exciting because, Rivers knows and he can pick out guys that are going to succeed. It's also been talking about Keenan Allen and how Allen's had his best, basically, training camp yet, which is really exciting to hear. But we'll see when time comes who's on the field and who's doing what they need to do to get the job done.
Yeah, man, we saw Keenan get one pass in that preseason game, and where Rivers hit it on that inside shoulder, and then for Keenan to turn and be like, oh, it's coming right there, make that little adjustment in midair while he's making that jump, unbelievable. It shows a lot of maturity in that.
Very mature. I'm excited to see what he has in this season coming up. And also, Floyd's probably his last year.
Yeah, we're probably going to see him calling it maybe at the end of this season.
Yep.
He's probably going to be in a more limited role.
Very true. It's going to be a bummer, but Rivers wants him to stay, of course, because why would you want someone like that to leave the team? So also during, I think it was 2 days ago, there was like a scuffle between Manti Te'o and Orlando Franklin. it was one of the. I heard it was a very intense and aggressive practice, and something happened where Teo blindsided Williams, and then Franklin came over and got in his face, and they got in a little scuffle. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it made headlines, and McCoy loved it because he knows that happens all the time, and he was actually he almost like was not frowning upon it, almost encouraging it, that they were getting into the game but not taking it too far. And I think Rivers also said he was wondering when that would happen because he felt the defense hadn't been bringing it yet. So that was interesting to hear about.
Dude, I didn't even hear about this story at all.
Yeah.
The only scuffle I've been hearing about is that Rams and Cowboys fight.
Yeah.
I'm looking up right now. The Union Tribune mentions it in like 2 sentences. And basically all they said was Teo hit David Johnson hard on a tackle and Orlando Franklin went over and knocked him over. Like,
yeah.
This is nothing. This is nothing. All that is. It's just Teo making a big popping hit, which he loved to see because he's 100%. And then Franklin going over there and knocking him on his butt, being like, hey, have your place. This is practice.
I think they tried to build off what happened with the Rams and Cowboys and kind of make it seem like we were getting a little riled up, even though maybe it was not much to be excited about.
Yeah, man, I don't know if the media is bored or what, but they're really playing up these training camp fights like a lot. Like
they are.
The first big one you heard about was the Texans and Redskins, and the reason you heard about that was because it was on Hard Knocks on HBO. And then just like the Cowboys had that one with the new corner going up against Des Bryant, and then the Rams had the one. I don't know if you saw that Rams-Cowboys fight, but Todd Gurley gets messed up in that. Des Bryant gets messed up in that fight.
I didn't see the video, but I heard about it.
Yeah, the Cowboys linebacker straight up pancakes Todd Gurley in that fight, and then another guy punched Des Bryant in the face.
Man.
So yeah, I think all this scuffle shows is that Orlando Franklin's bringing some toughness to that Chargers line. And like I'm very excited about that guy because he wants to get back at the Broncos. Because that's the team he's looking to get at. Fluker's going over to guard now. We got Barksdale, former Bills and Rams tackle, going over to right tackle. When they signed Barksdale, I knew he was going to start. I knew he was going to start for this team. And we signed him for dollars to donuts, that kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that O-line.
So we got a game going on tomorrow, preseason number 2, second game. It's the Arizona Cardinals in Phoenix. And it's kind of weird and, I don't know, it's kind of strange to talk about a preview for a preseason game. But I guess what we could talk about is what we would like to see out of certain people going in further into the season before the regular season begins.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the run game is going to break down in this game. I want to see how many carries Melvin Gordon gets. I want to see how they're using Woodhead. I want to see if Oliver lights it up in that second string playing time he'll be getting in the second quarter, maybe through the third quarter. I'm hoping to see Stevie Johnson get a few catches out there because that drive was 7 plays and a touchdown. That was the most perfect drive. And, I really want to see them going up against Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, that big front 8 that Bruce Arians has built there in Arizona. And I want to see them go up against like one of the best defenses in the NFL. I think the Cardinals are a top 5 defense in the NFL. So that's what I want to see out of the offense.
Yep. I think it's a great time to kind of challenge your team and see what can be accomplished. And also, like you said, game goes and the receiving core. And a big thing for me is coverage, tackling, and depth at defense. I want to see how that all plays out. Who's stepping up? Like they've talked about Emmanuel a lot, all over social media and articles upon articles. So I really want to see if he continues to be a big presence on the team, which I'm excited for. Seems like a great player.
Yeah, it'll be funny too because out of Arizona, I'm not sure if we're going to see Carson. I'm not sure if we're going to see Larry Fitzgerald. I'm not sure. I don't think Michael Floyd's going to be out there. Andre Ellington might not be out there, but like the defense is still going to have some guys to cover. John Brown, this third wide receiver that Arizona's got, this guy's big time. We're going to see rookie David Johnson out there. David Johnson looks very good. So there'll definitely be some guys on the defense to match up against on offense, and keep an eye out for them. Because, like, the guys I want to see working right now, you know, I want to see Melvin Ingram making big hits out there. I want to see Denzel Perryman working for that next middle linebacker slot. I want to see Jerry Tauchu making big plays out there. And then I want to see younger guys. You know, I want to see Kyle Emanuel. I want to see these sleepers that we don't know about that are going to beef up the depth. I want to see these guys who are stepping up out there.
Me too. Me too. And, you know, I just got a notification from UT saying that Gordon is not expected to play tomorrow. In the game, which is maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I think it's better to maybe rest him than play. So I think that's all we have for today to talk about, unless you have any other things you'd like to talk about.
Yeah, just real quickly on that Gordon thing, you know, it's good. It's good that they're going to do that. If his ankle injury doesn't feel like he needs to be playing on it, go rest him. Go rest him, let him watch what those guys are doing. We'll see him on the sideline, probably not dressed in pads, but he'll be over there talking to Woodhead, talking to Oliver, learning from the system.
Yep.
And yeah, it's good, man. It's good. He doesn't have to play in the preseason if he's not ready. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, this has been awesome doing this so-called vlogcast, a vlog podcast kind of deal. Thank you for anyone that is watching for coming on and watching Bold Banter. We're going to be posting more videos, and this will be up straight up to YouTube. Thank you for watching, and I think our next show will be on Monday, so be looking around for that. And tomorrow, Chargers are playing the Cardinals, so bolt up and get ready for that.
Cool, man. It's been fun. Follow me on Twitter at Kendrick Luck. Been talking about them Chargers. We'll see you on Monday, hopefully.
All right, and follow Bold Banter on Twitter at Banter, BANTER, and find us on Facebook and our YouTube page as well. Thank you much for
YouTube
watching.
Page, all one word, Bold Banter, all one word.
Bold Banter, one word. All right, thank you for watching, everybody.